Is it all coming?
Supposed to be.
Wouldn't let it go.
What's coming? What? Oh, I think it's people.
Get everybody's name.
Alright, yeah, no problem.
Get everybody's name in the audience.
No, we didn't sign in because I didn't have a thing there. I know
Or
Mr.
here, yeah.
Claw, I don't know that guy, remember his name.
How's this still going? Huh?
I
How's it
know
still
her,
going?
I know her,
But
I know him,
when
I
is
know
that?
his crew, I know
Okay, then we got them all.
Hopefully.
everybody except for who's the one.
Tim Eldridge, school bus.
No, the one next to Mr. Claw.
There he is.
I don't know who he
Mix
is.
things up on
Yes, you remembered. Woo!
You know John.
John, you're the man, John. Thank you, sir.
Nice haircut.
I have to write them down.
I'm doing
Made
the
the whole day,
Rosie
John.
Riveter look.
Earlier one. Got that new look.
Just cut up and left.
That's what
We need to
happens
go
when
back
you do
inside, I
manual
know. Thank you.
I'm not used to that.
How were we?
Okay.
Let's do this.
Wait a minute.
See?
Earl,
See?
Erwin?
you want us to do the pledge, Earl?
I will certainly do that.
You're standing already.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Earl. Good job. Do we have any public comments? Visitors? Mr. Clark, the gentleman beside you, I don't know his name.
Micah Dewey, athletic director.
All right.
Okay, she
I
needs
knew your face, I just couldn't get it, sorry.
So the chief won't be here? He's already talked to us?
Yes.
Is he coming?
No, that's.
We can go over it
the-
though if you want, just a quick synopsis.
Go ahead.
So we met with the chief today over at the elementary school. Basically what's gonna happen over the summer is we're going to reline the parking lot and add some signage, so those visitor slash faculty parking spots right against the road are gonna be angled. So you can't back out and go out, you have to go through and then down the one way. So it's gonna eliminate people driving all different ways. We're actually gonna make lines with arrows through that front area. So buses only, one way through, cars can't come up from the other side and go through. And we're gonna be adding additional parking spaces on School Street. Right, so you know how the SAU has a couple in front and then the high school has some in front? We're gonna add 3 or 4 spaces there as well for additional pickup and drop-off parking for 4th and 5th grade to try to alleviate some of the grief that's going on up at the kindergartens, for everybody coming and going and parking all over the place, so that's what we ended up discussing, so I think it's gonna really work. We're gonna put a sign, the signs are gonna be on the Steeple Street side. So on the parking lot side, it'll say one way, so you can't go through, and the other side's gonna they're gonna move the buses only from this time to this time on that front part, so, of the signs. So I think it's gonna really control traffic.
Who's paying for the paint for the stripes and everything?
Well, it's gonna be through the town, right?
No, I think we had to pay for it.
Well, we're gonna do what
Bob,
we
is
gotta
that
do.
correct? Do we have to pay for it?
Yeah, probably we would pay for the material and there.
The signage,
Signs and the paint.
yeah, that would be our
That's my
responsibility.
thing.
I'm just concerned we're on such a tight budget.
No, that's what we're gonna be discussing in B.
Okay.
That's true, okay.
Okay,
Did you wanna tell them by the culvert on Steeple Street, there'll be, no parking right in front of that ditch?
yeah, there'll be, so you just said it.
Yeah.
As far as no parking in front of that area. And, well, there's a lot of work that needs to be done there besides parking. Anybody that goes through there, it looks like, a bomb crater, and bomb craters all over the place in that parking lot, but the culvert's still not replaced either. And the whole bottom, it looks like a horseshoe. The culvert basically comes down and stops because the whole bottom of it's gone. They need to pull that up and put a culvert in. And then it'd be nice, obviously, down the road, because, there's dirt spots and holes and everything all in the parking lot. So it needs a lot of work in the elementary side. But we're going to start controlling it with controlling parking first. So at least get it smoothed out like it is the high school. People pretty much by muscle memory now know we can't go up Elm Street and take a right into the school. So got a lot done with that.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, moving on to the default budget. I'd asked all the administrators to come in, and I'd like to make a suggestion to the board. Maybe we could do this twice a year, that we could get all the administrators in and talk to them, and maybe halfway through the school year, and then we could, it's up to the board. Okay, the main reason I asked you to come in is that you know we're working with a default budget, So what my message is any way that we can keep the costs down, let's try to do it and see if we can do it. I'm not, if it's a safety issue, no, we won't cut that. But we're gonna be in a tight budget. And if you go beyond your default budget, it's over the bottom line, you're quite an involvement there. So you're gonna have to keep a tight eye on it, and that's what I'm asking everybody to do. Watch what you do, and keep an eye on it, and do the things we have to get done. And does anybody else have anything else they want to say? Peg?
Of course I have a question. I am looking at what was sent to DSB. The total was $10,421,277. And then I'm looking at this year's budget amount. That is $10,070,658.91. I didn't look at this, so question for you, Nate, later. Now that I know that that's this year's.
If you let me see what you're looking at, I can probably tell you.
Okay, the bottom of this, the DSB,
Yep.
it says total operating budget appropriations,
Yep. Of how much?
$10,421,277.
Okay.
And then the latest, this year's expense report, the budget is $10,070,658.
That one, the lower number doesn't have all the warrant articles in it.
Okay, thank you.
But on your page 3 on this document is what is in the what went on the town warrant, and that's what's the
Okay.
figure for the default budget.
Okay,
'Cause
thank you.
I did run. I did a lot of homework by going through that default budget and checking all the figures and everything.
I know there's some things, well, piggyback
Go ahead,
on that.
go ahead.
Is, I know we talk about, obviously, facility, I'm the facilities chair, and Doug's on the facilities too. Not to hurt anybody's feelings, but if I don't feel it necessary, I'm not gonna vote for it. So that's one thing we're gonna have to cut down, unless it's absolutely necessary. You know what I mean? I pay a lot of taxes in this town too, and I don't want to default. So we're really gonna have to cramp down this year, so. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news.
Okay, anybody else? Earl, you have anything to say?
Well, actually, what I could do is with the whole administrative team here, I could combine this with the report I was going to give because they may not be here. What I wanted to be sure, because we're on TV, that everybody in the towns knew who our administrative team is. Everybody knows the important person to my right. He controls the purses. So if you would just remind them who you are.
Nathan Castle, Business Administrator.
And Nate this is your 5th year, right? So Nate is his 5th year here. And we're glad that he has remained here. Now we have John. John, can you stand up, please? Safina? Yeah. John, can you please stand up? No.
You got that on tape. John Safina.
I'm harassing you, right?
That's okay. I'm used to it. Principal MES. This is my 4th year.
4th year.
Yep.
And we've been working as the whole administrative team has, and he'll go over today what it looks like, the staffing for the fall. They've been working very hard, and they've come in, and we're taking a look, and a lot of the staff has come in and helped us as far as preparing the staff for the fall. As we work up through, now we have the high school dream team, Jan and Jen. Sounds like a rock and roll group.
Jen Lovett, assistant principal.
And Jan, this is Jan's 3rd year. And a lot of changes have occurred.
Earl,
Yes?
they couldn't see him. They just heard their voices.
You need to be in the
I
middle.
want to see you on
Oh,
screen.
goodness.
Hi, Jim Jen Lovett, assistant principal.
They actually dress the same. And if you want it, is there a certain song that you'd like to sing to tonight or no?
Not tonight,
Tonight.
tomorrow.
Jen, I'll be aware, grants, all of the grants that we've gotten, whether we did compete for them or we have them from the state, Jen has done a superb job coordinating with the remainder of the staff and securing them and maintaining them. And I believe this is your 5th year? Yeah, so I think that we're optimistic that students will achieve, it will be increased, because one of the main things in schools is that if the stable administration occurs, then schools would advance. Students will succeed more with the staff intact, the administrative team intact. Now we have 2 new people on the block, the 2 new boys on the block. Can you please stand up and let them know who you folks are? Come on up.
Stand.
This is the youth of the group. This is,
Bob Claw, I've been in the district for 4 years. This will be my first year as special ed coordinator.
Oh, guess what,
Mr.
Mr. Claw? You have to stand where Mr. Dewey is.
You can't see him.
There we go. All right. Hi, I'm Bob Claw. This will be my 5th year in the district, my first as special ed coordinator.
Micah Dewey, his first year as athletic director. This will be his 2nd year within the district.
Okay, I should have you know, Rob has hit the ground running. He's been in the district for what, 6 years?
This will be my 5th.
5th. And he stepped up. I've been trying to encourage him to fulfill an administrative role since the first time I met him 4 years ago. And he already has begun to work at securing staff and working on students in the best place that students can go. And we're really excited that he took on this role. And Micah came to us last year. As Mr. Steer knows, he did an extraordinary job with the baseball team in the spring. And we're really excited to have an athletic director in-house that I think will assist us in securing students to play on, to go out. So as we get more in-house folks to coach the team, actually this is the baseball staff.
Yes, it is.
Rob is the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade coach, and Micah is the head coach. And tonight we'll go to the board. We have a new basketball coach and a new 7th and 8th grade coach that Micah and Jan worked on, and we're very glad to have them, and it looks like we're going in a real good direction there. Then we have the key transportation director. Please stand up. I don't want to embarrass him, but I have worked at working on closing of school, transporting students for many years. And Tim, I was astonished at how efficient his snow chain was. People take for granted the fact of people you have to get in touch with and communicate with and make a call, and he is by far the most adept transportation director that I've ever worked with, and he does a fantastic job. I know I bug him and I wake him up at all hours and at night, and he's great, and he's great about that. And we make a decision, we choose and let the area schools know what we did, and I think that it really helps out. Also,
Wait a minute. You're going to have some. We didn't get a picture of Nate. Everybody knows what you look like, Nate.
How about we have everybody just stand up here and then just...
One more.
Yeah, we have one more, and then we just have them all stand up?
So then,
I'll tag team with Bob if you want.
Oh my. Okay,
Yeah.
ridiculous.
A lot of introductions today.
go ahead with Bob, and then Nate can get up with
Who are
Bob.
you?
Okay, does everybody set with Tim?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you. Bob,
You're all set.
Bob, can you please stand up? Buildings and grounds. Bob has been here for many years. How many years have you been here,
Started
Bob?
my 15th year.
Wow.
Bob is the dean of the administrative staff. And he already has been worked over since 5 about everything going on, and he's right on top of his game. And Paul Steele does a phenomenal job with the with the group, with Doug Shute, and thank you, Bob, for all your great work. So I'm all done with my report as well, sir.
Do you mind mentioning that Christy couldn't be here?
Oh, yes, Christy couldn't be here. Why don't you?
Christy Heichel is our assistant principal at NES. She's fantastic. She'll be starting her 4th year here as well. She couldn't be here tonight, but wanted to make sure we mention her.
Nate, did you want to get your picture so people can look like? You all
If
set?
it's a choice, then no, I'm good.
Okay, you good? Okay, Bob?
We need one of those runways.
Okay, we all done with that?
Stand in front.
Okay, we got a request from Karen Crew, which is the daycare down at the bottom of the hill, that we to come in and talk to us. The request was, Karen, would you like to talk? You can come up to that.
The request was, over the past few years, what the typical was that our students would be bused from, I think it was after Thanksgiving, until after April vacation. And last year, I lost one of my key staff people, and she was pregnant, had a baby. And I still have not been able to replace her, so we are very thin. Been trying very hard to find a candidate to replace her. In the fall, we have 30 after-school students, and I think it's 18 or 19 before-school students. And so what we'd like to do, last year, they actually continued busing right through the school year, instead of stopping it in April. So what we're looking for is for the safety of the kids, for the consistency of the staff in Milton, for the consistency of the kids, in order for us to be able to continue that after-school program. We're just looking for that bus to be year-round from September through June, so that the kids can get from the elementary school down the hill to our school safely. Like I said, it's 30 kids. Many of them have had behavioral issues. It is a tricky situation during that time of day to get them safely into the building. The busing was great. It just has worked out wonderful. I'm not quite sure how you did it. I don't know if you did take like the back bus, bring it to the back, and drop off our kids. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we've done it in a couple different ways, but ultimately we get them to and from the daycare.
Yeah, they did a great job.
It was like the Celtics bus, right? We just had one bus that the kids knew if they were going to MLC that they would take the Celtics bus. And
I have a question for Tim. Is that a feasible thing? Can we continue to do that?
We can certainly do that. The concern is each year, certainly we have kids on Dawson Street and also on Charles Street here that we don't transport for. And it's not that I don't get calls. I do get calls, asking for them to, be able to utilize the bus. So basically, I had said to Karen and John that, we need you folks to decide, are we going to continue doing it year-round, or just the part of the year that we're currently doing, or like I said, not at all. But that's something that I think you guys should decide, because certainly I do get those calls saying, hey, the bus goes right by, why can't you stop? And certainly when the coordinator before me, and then likewise myself, We had been told, you know, try and keep the mile radius of the school without the bus stops. Because the daycare is different than a regular bus stop because of the number of students. But ultimately, I think that you folks should be deciding whether we should continue or not.
Okay, but on the page 5, I asked on that list, these are the kids right now that walk up to MES. And I think, matter of fact, I think probably some of these kids are right across from the daycare that will walk up that hill to, so we got 26 kids that walk to school right now. So,
So these are after school. This is after school.
what about in the, I asked you, what about in the morning? How many walk?
Oh, this was just, I just was asking about after school. These are our after school kids from last year. It's about 26. I don't think I'm not sure how many are picked up in the morning.
Are you talking about at our school?
Yeah.
This year, like I said, I think there's 18 or 19 in the morning and 30 in the after school. We are maxed out. I mean, it is a huge need for these parents.
Yeah.
You know, we've expanded our hours to 5:45 to try to help all these parents who are working. But in order to get the kids there right now, we're really hopeful for that bus because I don't know if I could ride off right now.
And we have 9 kindergartners. I mean, it's a lot for kindergartners.
Yeah. Let me get Peg first. She said,
I just have a question. Do you put all of the kids on one bus at the end of the day?
Yeah, we were bringing them down in the morning by themselves, in the afternoon by themselves, but this past year we were able to get them all on the one bus. Next year we may, depending on the schedule, go back to that one bus, bring them down.
Okay, because that just seems like an awful lot of students to
Well, it's
fill
a half
in.
a bus,
Yeah.
yeah.
but do you have to do that special? Because the kids have left MES, you've sent your other bus. You do the high school first, and then you do the MES.
Correct.
Do you have to have a separate bus driver to do that?
No. It's one of the regular bus drivers, just they would make the loop twice, that's all.
Does the board want to discuss this now or in non-public?
Can you just clarify something?
Non-public, maybe.
Is these people, are they walkers?
That's what I asked
Walkers
for.
as far as,
To school.
like my children walk to school? So these are Karen's kids?
That isn't what I'd asked for, then this form isn't right. I'd ask kids that walk to school.
How many kids do you think walk?
That actually walk to
Yeah,
school?
that's what I'd ask
That
for.
were part of that, I don't know.
No, just
Not
part of
kids.
the
How many kids
Kids.
leave their house in the morning and walk to school, leave the school and walk home?
Kids on Dawson, Charles, mine are on Brown.
Including the daycare, if we.
No.
No.
I would say maybe 10, 15 at most.
So, let me get this correct. We have 10 or 15 children who have to walk and that could live half a mile away and can't have transportation, but we're asking for transportation from elementary across the street. So we're allowing approximately 10 other children to have to walk up to a mile?
Correct.
No, I did ask Tim how he handled this in other towns. And he said that he does transport in other towns. But I asked him if he had any daycare centers within the mile, and he told me, if I'm wrong, correct me, he told me no, but you do have cases where you are transporting people that are beyond the mile to daycare. Was that correct?
Oh, yeah, there's.
So he is doing it for other towns, but they're a mile out.
My concern comes in with a parent who can't necessarily afford daycare either after school or before school. Their child has to walk home up to a mile, and we're giving preferential treatment to take these other students across the street.
It's not across the street.
But it's very close.
I don't know if it would be considered preferential if we're putting 30 to 35 on at one stop. You're not picking up one here, one 3/4 of a mile away, you're picking up 30 students in one place, bringing them to another place. It's mass transit, it's not preferential treatment.
Mass transit, we still have students that have to walk over busy streets. That's my concern, is that as a parent, if my child lived that close and I wasn't allowed to have transportation, I'd be upset. And I'm sure a lot
And
of
I
kids are gonna
understand
be.
that portion of it.
So I just have to figure out, that's my concern, because as a parent, I'm sure that's gonna be an issue for those parents.
I don't believe we have any kindergartners walking, even if they were then walking, then they're dropped off. I don't have any kids. There are, what I see in the morning, I see about 4 kids, and they're usually 4th, 5th graders that are walking to school. Usually if they're kindergarten or 1st graders, parents are dropping them off. So what they have set up for the transportation in the afternoon is Karen. It's going to MLC. So they're, rather than the kids they've set it up so the kids don't walk home, they get brought to MLC. That's what my experience has been with some of the families that I've talked to. But I think that this would, that's all I'm saying.
Do we want to talk about this in non-public, or do we want to make a decision now?
No, I have a question though. Because I'm just trying to figure out what parents are gonna ask. Okay, so if we have buses, Tim, that go right past, people that are calling you because the buses go right past their home, what impact would it be to allow those students to ride that bus home?
Well, certainly we'd be adding additional stops, which is time added on. Some of the areas we wouldn't be able to just because of the safety reasons to do that. And I apologize if I'm opening up Pandora's box.
No,
but
I'm gonna ask so.
my concern as the transportation coordinator is that struggle. How do I tell them no when the bus does go by, and then some yes. So again, all I'm looking for is just some direction from you folks as far as what you would like me to do in handling it. To answer your question, there is no issue as far as going to the bottom of the hill, picking up or dropping off. We've made it work over the years, but it's always been kind of that guessing game as far as how far do we stretch that as far as picking up and dropping off. We had moved it from, like she said, Thanksgiving, right after the end of Thanksgiving break, through April vacation, the bad weather months. And then this past year, John had requested, and Karen, to move it to the end of the year. And I said, sure, but let's definitely bring it to the board just to, if you want us to continue doing it or not. Melissa, I certainly hear your concern that, how do I answer those parents? But I think certainly other communities kind of hold to that mile, marker as far as having students walk as long as it's safe. There may be some areas that just are not safe that the bus would have to pick up. But I wish there was a clear-cut answer, but again, I just need some direction from you guys as to what to do, just so that they're not guessing and we're guessing as far as what to do with the daycare.
I guess I'm looking at it from, like you were saying, I'm concerned about, parents having to have students walk, but I'm looking at it, you're going from one facility to another facility. Mass transit from one public place to another public place versus one individual house to another individual house, whatever. If we're moving 30, it's better than having 30 walking, in my opinion, from one place to another, so.
And I understand that, but I would really like to know how many students we are looking at, an actual number, how many students are walking after school or before school, so that we have some factual information, because I do think that's a concern for a lot of parents.
How's that gonna affect us?
Well, I can't honestly vote in good conscience until I know how many students I'm going to have to say, or how many parents I'll have to talk to and say, oh no, even though the bus goes right by your house, you're not entitled to that. So I'd like to know those numbers. I'm just trying to make sure that I can answer the parents who are gonna have questions.
What's the route? Is it just go down from the elementary, come around, turn, and then go to the,
Yep.
so
Mhm.
it doesn't
If
do a
it
mile
goes in
loop,
the
it just
morning,
does
it
from one to the next, right?
It comes down the hill, down Elm Street, and then makes the turn and picks up and goes right to the elementary.
But I'm going to be honest with you, I have the same questions that Melissa has, okay? I thought when I asked, I thought I was specific enough, but I guess I wasn't. I asked for the figure for all the kids that walk to school, and I thought that's what this figure was. Now, if you're going to go on that premise that kids are walking from one building to the next, and this is just a point, do we transport the 5th or 6th graders or the 7th and 8th that come over to the, 'cause you see kids that walk back and forth between the two buildings. Usually you see a teacher or two teachers with them walking them back and forth. We're going to supply buses for them too.
I guess that's different than first graders.
And
And kindergartners, yeah, because, I mean, when you're 7th and 8th grade, you at least know, okay, I'm walking here, stay on the sidewalk. You're not running amok, chasing birds and everything else on your way down, so.
We have
But-
several special needs
Yeah.
or behavioral.
So, I mean, whatever. We don't have to make a vote tonight, but it sounds like we're making a mountain out of a molehill on something we're already doing, so. I mean, we can't make everybody happy all the time, but we can at least help a little bit like we have been doing.
I really have no problem with picking them up in the winter months. I'm willing to continue to do that. I have no problem with that. Because I wouldn't, because it's slippery out there. You're dropping them off. But I would like the true figures myself personally. I apologize to the board because that's what I thought I'd gotten and that's what I thought I'd asked for. But I guess I didn't.
I can certainly take a look next week at Power School and identify the students that are within that area. I don't know if they're actual walkers or a parent drop-off, or if they even go to the daycare. They may be daycare students. But I can at least give you the number of what's in that.
So we can't find any volunteers that would be willing to do that for us?
What do you mean?
I mean, take the kids to and from the daycare?
Walk with them, you mean?
Yeah.
We can't just take volunteers
Well,
to do that.
I mean, you're going to have to do a background check, that I understand. But if it's a parent, more than likely you're going to do a background check. That would be willing to do it all the time, a couple of them.
I mean, that's a can of worms too, because then if people don't show up and we've got 30 children and we're expecting a volunteer to show up.
So, do we want those figures? Is the board agreeable or what? What's the board want to do?
You've got my opinion. I think we're going way beyond where we need to go, but that's, make the whole board happy as a whole. If we gotta do, we gotta do.
I guess I feel like if we're doing it in the winter months, regardless, then, because we're still not providing for those kids that live nearby in the winter, correct? Or do we?
No, we don't provide.
So either way, we're sort of,
In my,
so might as well.
again, I don't want to keep making this bigger, but my other concern is if the board says, okay, we're going to make the daycare a designated stop, as it is now, and we have some of those parents that, hey, we want the bus that say live on Dawson Street, do we allow them to come to her facility and then, but then technically they're not, that's not the parent's location, so, where they live, so who's responsible if the student walks in? So, I don't know, it just seems like it keeps getting bigger and
I know.
Peg?
Which it should be a simple answer, or a simple resolution, but it just seems like there's too many factors.
I guess I look at it because I certainly have driven by and seen, like all the little kids going down the hill with an adult. And they're pretty well behaved, but I mean, they're, kind of bouncing around. And yet I will see 2 or 3 kids not going to the daycare who are walking home. And they're fine, they're happy, they're walking along the way they should be, and obviously they get home safely without having any transportation, so I guess I have to agree with Paul. And I just feel as though we're making a mountain out of a molehill. And we have been doing it. We haven't had, that we're aware of, we've not had complaints from parents of walkers, so.
No, we haven't been doing it. We just started the total.
Right, but I mean,
I have
even
no
during the
problem picking up
winter.
I have no problem with the winter. I'm willing to continue with that. The other problem, I think, raises an issue. Okay? Okay. Tammy, you want to talk?
But didn't you say that you were getting phone calls from parents?
I have over the years gotten phone calls, you know, hey, the bus stops down the street.
Right.
And it stops over here.
I mean, but it raises an issue by bringing them in the winter too. So technically, the issue is raised. So I'm gonna be very frank. Okay, I think kids can walk. I think they could walk in December from the school to the. I think a 5-year-old can walk from the school to the learning center. That's my personal opinion. But if we're gonna provide it in the winter, we've already said to the kid, we're already treating people differently. So I guess go for the gold and do it all year. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, either way, we are providing a service for those 30 kids from December to April that we are not providing for those 10 kids. I'm just, let's pretend it's 10 kids.
Like I
So
said,
the-
if it wasn't from facility to facility, it'd be different for me.
But
So,
I think it's good for kids to walk. But if they're not going to walk, then
One thing, I'm going to defer to Robert on this one. You said there were special ed students. Sometimes transportation after school programs, special ed, it could be part of that, transporting, I believe, to like daycare facilities and so forth. Isn't that part of it? So that,
But that'd be a separate vehicle.
Yeah, and
I know
that's
it's a separate vehicle, but that would be additional transportation costs just to bring someone.
But that's done by law.
Okay.
That is law.
No, I understand that. So I'm just saying, but if we've already provided the transportation, we don't have to set up special transportation.
I understand what you're saying.
I just want to add a comment as a parent. My kindergartner will be going to the Milton Learning Center next year, and I do have a concern that if there are 10 kindergartners, we wouldn't put 10 kindergartners plus another 10 first graders and then additional kids with one adult at our school. And now we're saying let's stick them all together and have one person walk them down to the learning center, and that's my worry. It's as a parent who also pays taxes in this town but is sending my kid to the learning center. I mean, you're sending them to one place as opposed to where I live, which is much further away. So you're saving money in that sense of making 30 different stops to their homes. But then in addition to that, my kid is going to be a kindergartner. He's going to go to school with 10 other kindergartners, 10 other first graders, and then at least 10 other older kids. And they're going to be walked down with one adult, and typically we'd have at least a para or somebody else supporting them in a classroom if they were to do something like that. So just as a parent, that is something I'd like to add.
The other thing I'd like to add is that it could be we could not continue with this after-school program without the busing, because if I can't get more help, there is absolutely no way I would ever let one adult walk that many children, those ages, down to that building. I could not in all good conscience do that, which would mean I would have to let all these parents know now, you're going to have to find other placements, because I can't do what I can't do.
Go ahead, put your vote.
So we're going to vote?
I would like to just make a motion that, yes, we continue with the bus the way it's been working from MES down to the Learning Center for 30 kids.
All year long, or what?
Year round.
Okay. Do I have a second?
yep.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
No.
No.
So it's 3 to 2,
Okay.
so
Thank you.
passes.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
If the well, we're going to need the administrators later on, the principals and the, we're going to need Bob for the softball, Tim for the bus routes.
You want to move all that up? Can we do
Why
that?
don't we?
Let's do that. It's summertime. We can make our own rules, Doug.
What's that?
And we have people coming in. I don't know why we don't move them up to the top of the list
I have no
anyway.
problem. Who do you want to move? Who are you going to be the nicest to first? Who lives the farthest away?
Tim?
Tim?
We already harassed Tim, so let's.
Jan?
But you don't need the rest of us, right? You just need Bob and Tim.
Yeah, I have no,
I don't know, what can we beat you up about tonight?
They're supposed,
Huh?
What can we beat you up about tonight?
I thought they were supposed to sing before they left, right?
yeah,
Aren't they supposed to sing before they leave?
Supposed to sing.
We were practicing tomorrow, we said.
Next meeting, all right.
I meant to,
Next
okay.
meeting?
Wait a minute, oh, this is, wait a minute, this is
It's Craig
great.
and the other people.
Jan, Jen, and John.
Yeah,
Three
okay.
J's.
Yeah, Tim and Bob would like to,
Good job.
It took
would
what,
like
this
to
long
lead
to
the
figure that out?
okay.
Oh, never mind.
Rolling J's.
Have a good night.
Good night. One J.
Thank you.
Second J, thank
You have
you.
anything in non-public or anything on the agenda?
Good night,
No, I just
gentlemen.
have the staffing list, which you can discuss in,
What staffing list is that?
for next year. One at the staffing list, the staff breakdown. Because of the votes you're making tonight,
Let's see, I just leave it for non-public?
Oh,
I mean, it's nothing that's private. It's just
Wait a
the,
minute.
last meeting I came and I said that we were going to be taking a third grade teacher and making it a second grade teacher. But through attrition and the new staffing and the votes you're gonna be making tonight, I was able to take the third, fifth grade position and move that into second grade. So now we have off K to 5, 2 teachers in each grade, except for second grade, we'll have 3 teachers, and we will also still have that student teacher working in grade 1 with that number. So
Good.
our numbers are good, and
Yep.
just like I said, my plan. So I can show you that. That's basically what
Well, I'm gonna
I
we'll
know.
move, were we moving to Tim first?
that's mine.
What? No.
Yes, we were.
Number 10?
Okay.
No, Tim first.
Oh, Tim. I thought you said 10.
I thought you said 10 too.
So you all set with me then?
no, I have
That's
a
all I
question.
have.
Wait a minute.
Do we have the same number of teachers this year that we had last year?
Same exact number of teachers.
That's
We
all.
had 350.
Okay, that's good.
The hand raised, go
I
ahead.
was just
50.
hoping that Principal Sofina could explain that again, because
Okay.
I didn't quite understand.
We had 3 teachers in 5th grade that were all certified for upper elementary. So I couldn't just take a teacher from 5th grade and put them in 2nd grade. But we've had some movement we had some resignations, and also one of the teachers is moving into another position. So because of that, basically was able to shuffle the deck, so you say, and move the position from 5th grade to 2nd grade. Originally, we were going to take a 3rd grade position and make them a 2nd grade teacher. Instead, what we're doing is taking the 5th grade teacher and making them the 3rd, 2nd grade teacher, and keeping the 2 3rd grade teachers intact.
Okay, I have a question
And
though.
hiring,
And we're going to be hiring 2 new teachers
Okay,
because of the 2 resignations.
okay, question.
Yes,
So, this is your projection for next year?
yes. Well, those are actual right now.
So we're down, we're 19 below 277, because that was your projection during the middle of the year. Is that not right?
The projection
During the middle of the year, you had 200, we both had,
from last year, we ended with 263.
so we're even less now.
Yeah. Well, because we still have enrollment coming in.
Yeah.
If you look, we only have kindergarten, we usually get more, 5 to 10 more kindergartners in August. We had also more enrollment, if you see down at the bottom, I didn't add because we don't have all the paperwork in. 4 new students came in, 1 kindergartner and 3 first graders. So it's, last year we had 30 new families come in and some
The
leave, we ended
predominant
up with 10
reason
more.
is that 5th graders moved to 6th grade.
Yeah.
And now the full kindergarten amount of students is not done because more of them come in. So, and then the other of them are fairly consistent, but
Okay.
just like 12th graders in high school, when 12th graders graduate, depending on the size of the 12th grade class. So the reason is we haven't fully seen the full kindergarten amount of kids yet, because more will come in. whereas we know finitely the amount of fifth graders that move to sixth grade. So that should play itself out to some degree.
We don't have our full enrollment yet with kindergarten.
Okay.
So those numbers will go up.
Okay, okay, do we want to move Tim up? Page 59?
Sure.
All right, Tim, plus page 59, board members.
Page what?
59. Okay.
59, okay.
Any questions for Tim? Now, do we have to approve this?
It's more just advisory.
Does the board want to approve it?
You can certainly approve it if you like.
Well, we don't know.
Same as last year, pretty much, right?
Just some time.
Time to check. I think we don't have to approve it anymore.
Well, we don't know, we may be adding stops.
At this point, we
Because of our
don't
vote?
actually list
No.
stop individual, well, for the most part, I don't list individual stops on the bus route. It's just the route itself.
On the street you're on.
Yeah. So, we may, there are some kids that have moved in, some have moved out. We'll adjust that before school starts, but for the most part, the route itself is staying the same with, like I said, some minor time adjustments.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion to accept it.
I'll second it then.
Anybody else? Discussion? Peg?
Aye.
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 All right, passes. I guess Tim, we don't have anything else for Tim?
No, Tim, I appreciate how you have it down to the minute here, 6:28, 6:27. I appreciate that, thank you.
Do we want to bring Bob up so we can send poor
Send
Bob?
him home too.
Send him home
So
too?
I'm gonna send you home, Bob.
Thanks, Tim. You could stay if you'd like.
Were you going to report on the facilities?
Yeah, we could do the facilities at the
Yeah,
same
good.
time. We'll do it all at once.
Go ahead then.
So we already talked about the parking lot marking portion and all that, right? We also talked about, we have to bring a couple things before the board. I left my notes at the elementary school. Do you have your facilities agenda, Doug?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
I left it at the elementary by accident. I left everything. Well, go ahead, Bob. If you, any points of note that we have to vote on tonight, we're gonna bring forward, correct? Oh, you have, right here, Doug. She has them right here.
All right, okay.
The traffic pattern. So softball field update. We are gonna have, I guess the next step we're gonna do, because this is, right, this is dragged out longer than anything we've ever done, is we're gonna have a group meeting to try to figure out exactly what we need, what's donated, what still needs to be done, and go from there. So I know there was a point brought up about for the I-beams, the verticals for the scoreboard. I had questions in reference to that. About it, I guess it's going to be an I-beam with a plate with 4 bolt holes or whatever. So why is that so much better than just sinking the I-beams down into the concrete and not have 4 small tie points and have one giant point that's not going to break off? Turn the I-beam sideways and you can screw through it and put the sign to it. It sounds not, and I'm not, obviously we appreciate your work, but it sounds like it's getting to the point where it's getting so over-engineered that every week we come to a new stop point as to why we can't get this sign put in.
Usually you want base plates and anchor bolts because your concrete subcontractor will put in the anchor bolts, and then your steel fabricator shows up later to put the steel in.
So what if we did it all at once as one big party?
I mean, if you can do that, then I can modify the design to be embedded steel instead of a base plate. It's a water ingress area, so I mean that steel is not going to last as long as it would with a base plate. But I mean, if that's the way we'd rather go, then change the design.
And I'm not saying that's the way we want to go, but I'd like to have some options, because now we're at a standing point. Well, what are we going to engineer for I-beams? How are we going to put the plate on it? And it's like, my God, it's like we're trying to build a skyscraper and not put a softball field sign in, and we're going on year 2 with no sign, and that's not fair to the girls. So I want to get this thing underway and hopefully done this year. I mean, we've been having and hawing about the wiring for it since last year. Still no resolution in sight, and this seems, I mean, we can get, other things done in 2 meetings, and we've been 2 years on this, so it's time to move forward on that. But that's our next step. I guess, Peg's you're going to organize a meeting for that.
But I think what our problem has been in the past, and I don't, is the fact that we're hoping to get everything donated, but we can't get the money, we can't get the people to donate stuff, we cannot proceed. And that's what I think the problem has been. Getting the cement poured, getting the plan done. If we were able to go out and say, somebody give us a set of designs, this is the cost, we go to the people, they approve it, it would be done by now. That's what the problem has been.
So now that we have, the engineering's done, we know exactly what we need, correct? Everything, so if we put it out there,
Go ahead.
get it out to the public, what we hopefully can get donated, because now we know exactly what we need.
Well, I think the only thing we need to get donated right now is what? The concrete? Because someone volunteered to dig the hole, someone volunteered to put the concrete in, someone volunteered to dig the trench, someone volunteered.
Okay, how it has been left because of the new design and all the concrete. I did send the design to the person who volunteered to do the concrete, and his comment was, okay, we'll need a truck. Or a, whatever those...
Cement mixer. Oh, yeah, a cement truck.
Yeah, cement truck, one of those spinny things, in order to pour that much concrete. One of my questions, and we haven't gotten to it yet, but the donation, I wanted to just ask if maybe, since he was planning on doing his own concrete, if we can use that and maybe offer that to him, because it's going to be a bigger expense. But these are all things that we need to have a meeting with everybody involved, the person who's going to be digging the trench, Carter, with all of his specs, concrete, and the electrician, so that everybody is on exactly the same page. This needs to be done right now, then we need to do this, then we need to do that. And I just am frustrated, that's all I can say.
Does he need the truck to bring the concrete or just the concrete mixer?
Well, he's gonna need a truck rather than, the little, when you mix your own concrete in a wheelbarrow type of thing.
Big
You have
difference
to
in
put the
price.
form up, and they're gonna, is that right?
Yeah.
Put the form up, then pour it, then you're gonna have to put your bolts in the cement, aren't you? That's how it's gonna be done.
Yep.
Now, it's been mentioned that we just bury the post down in the concrete, isn't that what you're asking for?
Well, yeah, basically, as opposed to bolting it down and adding additional engineering tasks that obviously, it was well thought out, but, for the scope of the project, how in depth are we going to get versus, I understand the scoreboard at the town beach is smaller, but that was sunk in concrete 15 years ago, and there's no sign of it letting up. So I just don't know, what the scope of the work. It just seems like every time we meet for facilities, it gets bigger and bigger. So I just don't want to lose track of the main reason we're doing this and what we need to do. If we can get it all volunteered, more people to come out, by all means, man, we do it the way it's supposed to be done.
But what I remember is because of the size of the sign, we had a problem with windage. And that's why it had to be this way. Go ahead.
When we first met to discuss this, I warned you that I was going to put something on paper that you didn't like. It was going to be expensive. I am legally obligated to design the scoreboard or design wind events by law.
Mm-hmm.
I have to do that. Otherwise, I lose my license.
And I remember
The sign
that.
at the scoreboard, the sign at the town beach was not designed for code. I told you I will walk away today and I will ignore what happens from this point forward if you don't want it to have to meet code. And I was told you did want it to meet code, so I gave you an engineered design that meets code. If you don't want that design, I can throw it out and I can pretend I was never here. But it does.
It meets code, and that's what we need.
Yes.
Bottom line, people.
And I understand that it meets code. Don't get me wrong, that's the way we should go. But for it to meet code and all that kind of stuff, we need money. We're gonna need money, because it's not gonna all be donated. Or we're just gonna wait another year.
I just said that, Paul.
So-
5-10 minutes ago.
So,
All right, that's why I would like to get everybody together in a meeting and say, okay, Joe Blow,
Wait a minute.
you have donated the concrete originally. This is now what we need. Are you willing to continue? Are you willing to donate some of it? You are the person. What are you willing to actually donate? So that we have concrete things on a piece of paper that Joe Blow is willing to do X, Y, and Z. End of discussion. Bob not you, Bob, but Billy Bob is gonna donate such and such. This is what he's donating. What do we need? I mean, I will write you guys a check, okay, to get this thing over with.
Okay, quick. My question is to the board right now. Do we want this sign to meet code?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so the plans are good. They meet code. You cannot bury it in the ground. So that's the bottom line. It'll meet code. Earl?
Perspective. We want to thank you so much for your work on this. And we have agreed that we're going to be in code. The other part of it, Paul hit on, is that this conceivably may cost us. So in light of that, be aware, unfortunately, next year, we will not have a varsity softball team. So that is a varsity softball field. Subsequently, we are in a default budget. So in the event that we're prudent, we'll still go forward, because I know Peg is very concerned about this and has been on it and done a lot of work getting various people, Mr. Rawson and Mr. Nadeau and people like that, to give up their time and funds. So we'll go forth full bore, we'll meet and so forth. But the bottom line, if in the event we run into a situation where there is an expenditure of funds that cannot be met, we, as a board, then you come to a discussion, say in lieu of this, but it's frustrating because it's taking a lot of time. But like I said, there is no varsity softball team for next year. So, you know, if you build it, they will come, but they're not going to come next year.
Are you certain of that?
Yeah.
Certain of that.
Talk to Al Goodwin. Al Goodwin seems to think that as of today, they're gonna have a varsity team.
Yeah.
A varsity softball team?
I talked to Al Goodwin this morning at Cumberland Farms. He said they have a JV and a varsity, depending on the new coaches they have. They recruited enough to start.
Are you sure
Mark,
it was softball?
check in on with him if you see him. But he said that he was mentioning it. They had some names for next year.
Melissa?
You know, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right. And if we can't do it right, then we're gonna make the decision that we can't put it up. Plain and simple. We can't keep this going for another 4 years.
Right.
If we can't put it up, then we'll donate it to a school that can afford to put it up so it doesn't go to waste. But we can't keep beating a dead horse. We either do it right to specs so that nobody gets hurt, or if the town doesn't really want it, then we have to donate it somewhere else. I don't know how much more we can beat this horse.
Okay, anybody else? We done on that issue?
Yes.
Bob?
So,
do we have anything else for Bob?
yeah, I'm still going over the facilities.
Okay, go ahead.
We have to approve as a board. Bob got some estimates for the pickup truck, right?
Right.
So if you want to go over that.
Sure. For the pickup truck, assuming it's just started, that's broke, it's at least $300 for material and labor. And to actually tow it, to get it repaired, is $85. So we have to spend some money if we wanted to have a chance of it running, or
And then
let it
auction
go
it as a
is.
running truck.
Yeah, let it go as it is.
Sell it
And
as a
just-
running truck. Yeah, the black truck.
Yeah.
This
You'll-
is our
Because the
existing
starter's
one?
gone in it now. So
Okay.
it won't even start. So I don't want to sell it, put it out to bid, a non-running truck, because you get $100. If it's a running four-wheel drive truck, then obviously we'll probably get a little bit more out of it, but
But we're not exactly positively it's the starter, are we?
It's a, no,
We're not sure.
most likely, but most don't know.
likely,
So,
but,
so it could be possibly something.
yeah.
No, but it'd have to be looked
And
at.
that gets it running, it doesn't make it roadworthy to get it in sticker.
So it'll be the same situation in the truck we have now, we got from the town. You won't be taking it to Lowe's. You won't be taking it to Home Depot or Middleton Lumber. And we have to keep it in your driveway.
It'll stay in town.
So what would the board like to do with that truck? You're at 385 right now. And the frame is no good.
I know, falls my way. Sorry. But we don't even know if that's all that's wrong with it. And it may be more, it may cost more, and
Well, you get $300 for it for scrap.
Okay, I make a motion that we scrap it.
I would second that one.
Do we have any more discussion? Can we get somebody to come take it for 300?
We'll get working on it.
Can we, the tires any good?
Turn left, right?
Yeah, the
Tires
tires,
any
the
good?
tires are good on it.
Tires are good on it.
Take the tires off and send it down to Lambert's. Will they pick up?
Can you do that?
They do pick up. They do pick up? Well, you don't need-
Still got the whole plow head unit in it too, doesn't it?
It's got the controller for it.
And the thing under the hood.
Right, the piece under the hood.
I'm good with the vote. Okay, I got a motion and a second on the floor. Peg?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
It's gone. Scrapped. Thank
Take
you.
the tires off.
You can.
Yeah,
Can.
security gate's the next item. As far as,
Yeah, so Nathan, you had a handout for that, so the state did approve funding 80% up to 2,400, right in the first paragraph?
Yes.
Yeah. And then we've got a quote from GCA AAA Fence to put in the gate for just under 16, right?
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, what's the board want to do? The safety gate at the high school and back behind the wood shop.
Wanna
it's
make
gonna
a
cost
motion
us
for
how
it?
much then? Oh, Nate's got the calculator
20%
going.
of the, was it
16.
1585?
What's that?
Yeah, it was 1585, I thought.
317.
$317, yeah. I make a motion that we put the security gate up with then using the 80% of 1,600 from the state grant.
Second.
Yeah.
So, what amount we gotta come up with?
$317.
We just saved that on the truck.
There we go.
Any more discussion? Peg?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Aye.
Aye.
Passes.
Who seconded it, please?
I did.
Thank you.
Okay, what else do you have?
Chimney's all done. They finished the chimney work, so that's good to go. Newt Library shades, as part of a measure, they were gonna, I don't know if that's a non-public thing or not,
I
but.
think it is.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we tabled it to get another, yeah, we table it for another day, right?
We can deal with it later.
Yeah, we deal with it later. So, and then Milton Elementary School kitchen hood,
Yeah.
the fire suppression system for the kitchen. We sent it back to Bob to get an estimate for a smaller unit if we took a couple of the ovens out, right? Because we
Take
don't
one
need
oven out.
we don't need all those ovens anymore.
It was, the elementary school kitchen was originally designed to feed the whole campus. So it's got 2 stoves in it, we can delete one and shrink the hood down.
Fire suppression hood doesn't meet code.
Okay. And it won't affect, they're not using both those now anyways, right?
Right, they don't anyway, they don't, yeah.
So right now, the quote is $13,500. So we send it back to get a smaller quote.
Yeah.
So, smaller hood, smaller
Can we
quote.
sell the stove?
I know, huh?
There we go, yeah.
See if we can sell the extra stove.
Do we have anything else for Bob? Facilities?
I think so, right?
Yeah, that's it for this.
Good.
Thank you, facilities.
Yeah. Bob, do you want, you can stay, or you can go?
Just double check on.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
it.
Yeah, thanks, then.
Thank you, Bob.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks for your help.
Okay, anybody else that we have to let go?
You have to look up.
Okay.
I'll go.
Hey, Bob. Hey, Bob. When you get a second on that.
Said I'll go.
Okay.
Sure, see you later.
Okay, going back to the minutes.
Phew.
You want to do 626 first? That would be page 8.
I will make a motion to approve or accept the public session meeting minutes of the 26th of June with corrections, very few that were sent to Tammy.
I'll second that.
Who's that?
I'll second.
Emily? Okay. Wait a minute. There's another conversation going on.
I had a question later on, I guess.
Facilities?
Yeah, well.
We'll take care of it. We'll do this and we'll
About
go
the
right back
truck.
to you.
About the truck.
Yeah, okay, yeah, go ahead.
We can do it later,
Well,
non-public.
So we have to vote on this?
yeah, I am going to Peg.
Okay.
I'm trying to get see what's going on with Paul so I can do it correctly. Okay. Peg?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, well, should we finish these and then,
No, we're doing non-public.
what?
We're not gonna talk about the
You
public
have to do the
Oh, no,
6:28.
should we finish the minutes
Yeah,
or?
I'm going to go,
Okay.
yeah, get done.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Bob, thanks, man.
Bouncing
Thanks,
around.
Bob,
I like
bye.
He wants everything done in non-public.
Okay. All right,
Page 11?
I will make a motion to approve the non-public meeting minutes of the 26th, and I don't even know if there were any corrections, but,
There wasn't,
okay.
Second.
but I'll put with correction, because I like that.
Oh, is that what that means?
With.
Yeah.
Okay,
Aye?
Aye.
aye.
That's a C.
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, public hearing minutes?
I can't motion to approve those, can I, since I did them?
Yes, you can.
Oh, all right, then I will make a motion to approve the public hearing minutes of June 28th.
I shall second that.
Paul can't.
Paul, you went there.
You weren't there.
You weren't there.
I tried
Oh,
calling
that's
you.
that one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know, I can't have
We
my
knew you
phone at
couldn't
work.
get to the phone,
I
but
can't
we
have my
tried.
phone at work,
Oh,
No,
so.
but we figured we'd at least try that
Yeah,
day.
sorry.
Do
Okay,
I have a
gotcha.
second?
That's not the one then.
Second.
I digress.
You mailed that to me, right?
We tried to include you.
Peg?
I saw the missed
Aye.
call. I'm like,
Aye.
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 Okay, you've been excused, Paul, thank you.
Aw,
You have to
thanks,
abstain,
Doug. I
honey.
did abstain.
Staying hard.
Phew.
Okay, you got any more to say, Earl?
Wow.
I
All right. He
Sassy.
said no.
had
Move
the
on.
administrative team all set.
There we
Yep.
go.
My
Admin.
question, nobody said anything, so I guess we're not gonna do we want to call him and come in every 6 months? Or halfway through the year?
Oh, yes, I have no problem with that. I think that's a great idea.
Sure.
See where we are.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
My suggestion is we might want to have different ones come at different nights. That way they can give you a little bit of a report. Like the AD can give you a report, or the bus can
That's fine.
give a
I have
report.
no
That
problem with
way, if we stagger them,
Every 3
you
months.
can get more of an update.
High
They
school?
can speak about their area a little bit. Just a suggestion.
Well, we get to see the principals more, and we don't get to see the vice principals, but we don't get to see the other, well, we get to see the
But-
special ed
Would
person.
have the AD come in, the special ed
Yeah.
person come in, the grants, Jen can speak about
Yeah,
the
yeah,
grants,
I have no
things
problem
like
with
that. So we can have that.
So stagger them.
Stagger. You know
staggered.
what? We could have one, like the first meeting, and
Yeah,
the AD the
something,
first
yeah.
meeting of the month.
Yeah,
in
the
6
spirit
months,
of it
and-
is, about the half year to give an update on their stuff.
Okay, moving on, page 15.
Peg, or you're in the finance.
No, it ain't Peg this time.
Really?
No, it's not. I went through this budget
Oh.
in great detail.
What's the matter? Why do you say that? Cuz?
Probably got a lot in there.
I'll show you in red here.
See?
A lot of alarms here, people. Let's go to page 14.
So we are on the monthly expense report,
Yeah,
correct?
page 14, custodian. 1, 2, 3, 4 down.
3,200?
Yeah, and it's over by $1,300.
Wait a minute, you're on page 15.
I see.
14.
14,
14 Peg.
the expense report.
Under custodian.
I'm
Under
geez.
custodian.
Okay, never mind, I'm looking at that one.
And I'm sorry, Peg.
Okay,
I lost you.
you did, because I'm looking, never mind.
Do we know why?
That's what I'd like to.
Is that a question?
Yeah, it
Why?
Why?
She was doing SAU office when we were the SAU, so she was getting paid out of the SAU budget. But now that she moved into Milton, we found out after we did the budget that she needs to get paid overtime for the overtime that she
Well,
works.
my question, we originally set 3,200 up, so that wasn't enough money to clean that building.
Correct.
So that's why we gotta,
And we're gonna have the same problem this
Next-
year too, because
yeah.
it's the fall.
okay, just everybody realize that.
Okay.
Now, going down,
Over
bottom
by
of,
how much?
by $1,300.
Thank you.
Bottom of page 14, under software,
Yep.
that's over by $8,000. Now, is that new software?
It is. That 8,000 shouldn't be up there. I
shouldn't.
found out afterwards that it was about 10,000 was incorrectly put into this report. It's actually coming out of this current fiscal year.
This new year?
So every year we have maintenance fees based on the modules that we have with the software. We've always had them. And so basically we paid twice last year, so that has to get moved. So that will go down.
Okay, all
Does
right.
that make sense?
Yes.
Anybody happy
It
with
was
that?
taken out of the wrong year.
Okay.
Okay?
Oh, what above that?
Well, you go ahead, you ask your question.
Okay, what above that, travel? Why are we over by $2,200 in travel? The travel is, I'm sorry, supplies.
Oh, supplies.
Supplies is
Travel.
because of we had the it was budgeted. We had open orientation every year.
Okay,
So that was for food for the whole district.
okay,
We paid cafe services.
okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Page 17? Maybe Bob should have stayed. Operation and maintenance. Custodian sub and OT overtime, almost a little over $3,100.
Is that the same thing for the SAU?
No,
I can
separate
answer that
person.
one.
Oh, you can answer it.
Because I've already asked that question.
Go
I've
ahead.
already received an answer.
Go ahead, Pam.
Because there was a custodian out, so it was a sub, and the custodian continued to get their salary anyway.
They had sick time,
Yep,
but they were out for extended period of time.
yeah. And so there was a sub in there for a long time,
Yeah.
unexpected.
Okay. Does the
See, I have all
board,
my questions
the
answered.
board realizes that we're gonna have to get, in November, we're gonna have to get 2 new custodians?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Should be, yeah.
So remember that, everybody.
Wow, good ones are leaving.
Yeah, the good ones are leaving.
Really?
Yeah.
Page 18, everybody. About halfway down, built maintenance. We're over by
Which one?
$22,000.
more than that, almost
Oh.
$32,000.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
Between
we're
two
about-
lines, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So, we have a problem with maintenance people. We're gonna, and I know our building has needs, so we're gonna, the voters realize we need that money. That's, that we put in each year, that $60,000. We got unforeseen things going on. Now moving, down the page just a little bit.
Quick question.
Go
though.
ahead, go ahead.
Is any of that covered by any of the state grants, or is that totally separate?
It's separate.
Okay, thank you.
That comes out of your renovation, the 20%, remember? I want you to look at electricity, LP gas, and fuel oil, down the
Yeah.
totem at the bottom of the page. We've been informed by Earl, I think I got it right this time, our prices are creeping up.
Yep.
So, remember at the beginning, when I asked the warrant to be put in to cover all of this?
Yep.
We got a problem coming, people.
Again, you know, we tried to estimate for prices. The prices had gone up so high that we really couldn't have anticipated that. And again, we can't hook the children up to bicycles to create electricity. So,
Gym class.
there we go, gym class, we're hooking them all up to bicycles.
Exercise.
There's our electricity problem. I don't know how we could have anticipated the huge jump that we had. I mean, we do the best we can with our budgets, I think, short of, I mean, what was it about 30% it went up this year?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you anticipate a 30% increase?
See, the unfortunate aspect is that just as there is an administrative team there that tries to foresee areas before they occur, so too the board has done that. Doug and Peg had gone to a workshop, and they had come back. They were on top of it, went out, warrant article was given to address this. They were trying to be proactive, see ahead. Regretfully, it didn't pass. So what is being pointed out here is it's depicting what is to come. Apparently, everybody goes to the gas pump, and they're seeing gas is going up almost every time you go down there. So hence, with that warrant article not being approved, the board was being proactive, looking ahead, doing due diligence, trying to serve the people, and trying to give advance notice of what is to occur. So unfortunately, what is being pointed out now are some of the pinfalls of what might come for next year. And that's really why Doug Shute had asked for the administrative team to come in. But things like this are not under they can't control that. And, you know, this is going to be a factor.
Sorry, go ahead.
Why are we not looking at some alternative resources like a solar, you know, with the grants that we can get, the summertime where we really aren't utilizing the school so that, you know, the buildup of, so I'm just trying to come up with some other ideas. If we're paying this much money, if we could get a grant and put some solar up to help offset everything. Otherwise, there are consequences for actions, and if we don't have the money in the budget, we don't have the money. So I'm just trying to come up with some idea to help us, but I don't see how we could have anticipated a 30% increase.
Anybody else? Peg?
Nope.
Moving on to page 19. I want everybody to get to transportation. Just be aware of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first 10 lines for transportation salary and stuff, etc. It's over, people, by a lot. You got, one's dental. Well, got books 18, salary 8, 5, 6, 10. It's a lot of money. So this is bus drivers. So just be aware. That's all I got. Anybody else have any on that? Okay. I usually don't do that to the budget. I let the budget run its course, and then I look at it at the end of the year.
For your facilities, I just mentioned, there's so many grants out there for solar. Could we see about getting a grant about putting solar at the school?
Wish we talked to Jen while she was still here.
Well, yeah, just because I saw looking at this.
I'm not
I don't know
sure.
if.
No, it's actually.
I thought that was all part of the CIP. Is we were going to be piggybacking off of the town for that solar farm they built. We were going to expand that.
Okay, I don't know.
That I have asked and asked and asked and asked about that solar garden, and
Nobody knows anything.
it appears as though it was just a total fiasco.
What do you mean by that?
Well, they had to pay to have it put in. It was, well, at that point it was PSNH, but now it's Eversource. They are getting maximum probably $18,000 a year for that solar garden.
Is that good or bad? I don't know.
Well, then take it down.
It's ridiculous to have a solar garden. I mean, if you look up what you're supposed to get with solar,
Right.
so I put in solar panels in my house, and when the sun is out and I'm, generating a lot of electricity, it should pay for me, and then the excess goes to Eversource, so that when the sun is not out and it's cold out, and I have a reduced rate because I've already provided.
You bank it, right?
Yeah, I have given them electricity from my solar panels, and that is not what is happening with that solar garden at the transfer station.
When they first came to the town, we had a couple of meetings with them about that, and we decided not to do it.
Yeah. Why the town even agreed to it, I have no clue.
If they're losing money on it?
Well, they're not losing
But they're
money,
not making as much as
but
they
they're
thought.
not making.
So
It's
if
a
we
long
do, if,
time for them to get the return on
Yes,
their investment.
yes.
so
I
if we
mean-
do it, if it's feasible to do it up at the school, then we'll have to definitely look at the pitfalls that have happened to the town so that we can avoid those, if it's possible.
So how long is it going to take you to break even in your installation?
Me? Oh, as soon as I put them in? I don't know, because I don't know how much it would cost me to put solar panels
Oh, I
in.
thought you'd done it.
No, I'm just saying, I've actually looked into it,
Oh, I see,
but,
I'm sorry.
I mean, my electric bill, because it's just me, is minimal compared to other people's. I know, everybody, I tell them what I pay and they go, ooh, I'm
So-
moving in with you.
It's gonna take my friend about 20 years to start making money.
Yeah,
Because it costs about 20 grand or more to put everything in, but his light bill's been zero for the last 3 years now.
yeah,
So if you're spending $150 a month, there that goes.
yeah.
So,
I
and
know,
then he banks
yeah,
it, so.
I know for me, because having the farm and everything else, when we looked into it, it was gonna be anywhere between 5 to 10 years before we'd break even, because I have a high electric bill. So depending on how much you use.
Anyway, okay.
Okay.
We all set with that?
Mine is like
Okay.
$55 in the winter. I'm sorry, what?
You can just be quiet over there.
I said mine is about $55 in the winter.
That's 200.
And when I would turn the pool on, it's
Well,
100.
water's moving in with you.
Yep, so
Okay,
it's moving in with me. It's my bills.
Revenue.
Monthly revenue report, page 37 and 38. Any questions?
No.
I make a motion that we double our revenue.
We all set?
Okay, I guess not then, I digress, never mind.
Okay,
Seconded.
I rescind.
page 39 through
Write it down.
Okay, we're done.
36. Monthly grant report. Any questions, comments?
Nate, is this one is done, this is like the final, because I know when I spoke with you today,
For grants, yes.
okay, so this is the final.
Revenues, not gonna change much, if at all, but the expense report will change.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. I just wanted to verify.
Anybody else?
Yeah, not everything's encumbered yet, right?
What's that?
Is everything done for the year as far as encumbrances and all?
We've got a few more things coming in.
Okay.
To
Go
speak
ahead.
on that,
Go ahead.
we had talked, I think it was yesterday, about there's like $49,000 left that was encumbered. Remember that?
Okay, go ahead.
It's more like 20 now, and 11 is just from cafe services. So we're looking at about 9,000 left.
No, we don't. Tell them when we close our books, so everybody knows.
We close our books on July 31st.
So we can set the tax rate.
Yep. 'Cause
Then-
it takes that long to get the MS-25 done.
So that's when you'll know what you'll have left over and what you're giving back and what you're gonna spend.
Okay.
All right. Anybody have any other questions for Nate?
No.
Quick question.
Go ahead.
Nate, we received $1,377,199.21 in grant money.
No, that's just the budget.
Okay, what did we receive in grant money?
566,808.91.
Okay,
It's the reporting period.
all right. And what did that cost us?
What?
What did
Well,
it cost us?
we receive a certain amount of money, but we have to pay 20% usually.
Oh, that's
That's the wrong one.
it cost us 20% is only for a handful of things so far,
Okay.
so it's minimal.
I'm just curious.
20% was the one on the infrastructure.
Yeah, and right now there's only like the first like 7 or 8.
What you're looking
6
at
actually.
here, that's a very good question you asked. That includes the Title I, Title II. The one with the infrastructure are the ones that we applied for.
Yeah.
And they give us 80% and we pay 1/5 of it.
Which is wonderful.
So we all set with grants?
Sure.
Page 47, treasurer's report? And I
Make
need
a motion to accept.
Second.
Do I have any questions for anybody? Peg?
I'm an aye.
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 No, no
Aye.
more questions.
Okay, thank you. Okay, all right. Cash reconciliation, page 50. Any questions? All right. Okay, page 51 and 52, food services operating. It's May 2019.
Oh, it's only
Any
May.
questions for Nate?
So this isn't final yet either?
No.
Just a comment.
Go ahead.
I remember when this was $70,000 in the hole.
Yeah.
Last
Just
year
as a
at this
side
time,
note.
it was 56,875.
There we go.
Paul wasn't here when it was 90.
Yeah.
We've come a long way.
Yep.
And still complain about this.
Uh-oh, big hand over there.
Sorry, go ahead.
I wanted to revisit the fresh fruits and vegetables program.
When did we sign that contract? Was it signed? The 251?
No, I'm waiting for them to give it back to us.
To be
I
signed?
reached out again, yeah.
Okay, all right. Go ahead.
Like we had said at the last meeting, we're getting $15,568.
Yes.
For fresh fruits and vegetables. It is MES only.
Okay,
Yes.
that's good to know. Now, let me ask you a question. If the 6th and the 8th grade had been in the same building, would it have been covered?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay, I know, I sometimes my questions. Okay.
Quick question.
Go ahead.
Is the greenhouse producing food for the,
Yes.
that is working there
Yep.
for that? Yeah. Awesome.
I've heard it's working well, too.
So who's monitoring it? Is Ben coming in and monitoring?
Well, when school's in session.
Oh, okay. Well, that's true. There are no kids now.
Yeah.
Could be.
Considering how small our greenhouse is, he's been doing incredible work.
No, I know he has.
Really.
Kudos to that, yep. Fresh
Yes.
tomatoes and all kinds of stuff.
All set?
Yep.
Moving on, activity statement report, cash accounts for all the classes. Any questions? Comments? Okay, page 55. Got 56 too. What was one's got interest. Got a little more money.
One's May, one's June.
Yeah, well, I want to make a comment on, I asked Nate to get me the figures, how those pending payments that's going to go out breaks down. I don't know if you said you've done that.
I do have it, yes.
Do you want to do it now or in non-public?
We should do it non-public.
Because of safety.
security. Yeah.
So that probably will answer some of your questions for the budget committee, because they'll know, well, they can't know what that breakdown is because of safety, but we'll be breaking it down. Okay, so that's the end of those two, 55 and 56. Now I think we got the Stratford Learning invoice, page 58.
No,
57, we have a donation.
Actually,
Wait a minute, I lost it.
Uh-oh. Please hold your thoughts, sir.
No, it's too late now, it's gone.
Here you go, Doug. Oh, you got it?
Found it. Yeah, go ahead. 57 donation.
No, you had something else before that, right?
I wanted to bring everyone's attention to the audit
Oh, go ahead.
for FY18.
Oh,
This?
Yes.
the big book.
You
The
wanted
big
us
book.
to read that?
Yes. This is going to be a test.
Okay.
Look at this, ready?
Oh, you guys got it.
I have to say,
Peg will read.
Oh, no, I don't need
I
that.
have a feeling Peg read it.
How many pages of
you're
notes?
right, I did. And I want to say just everything that I read and their narrative, we are certainly not hiding anything. I mean, it was just a really clean, nice.
I like it.
Not easy, because no audit is actually easy, but I mean, it was not, they had to dig and they had to dig and they had to dig and they had to ask questions and, oh, well, wait a minute, we don't have an invoice for, we don't have backup for this. I mean, everything was just,
Yeah.
so seriously, Nate, I want to commend you and Sue for a job very well done.
Thank you.
I have a question for Nate. How many copies of this do we have?
There's 6 total. One for each of you and then one for me.
Does the committee have any problem if I give my copy to the budget committee? Is there a legal issue, Earl?
No, it's public knowledge.
So-
Public.
Here you go, Doug. I'll give
Here you
you
go.
one.
Give you-
They can take it home.
They can take it home, they read them, and then they
And they
can
have,
Okay.
ask any questions.
Can I give these to Bob?
Chide them accordingly.
Give these to Bob,
So I'm going to keep mine.
okay?
All right.
And I don't need it back.
Okay.
I
Nope.
trust
I
Peg's
don't need it.
digging.
that's for them to really read and
Yeah.
answer some of their questions.
I want them to stay up at night,
Yep.
like I do. What about the
And
phones?
Meg does?
Actually, well.
Thank you, Bob, very much.
Oh,
Okay,
my.
we all set with that?
Yes.
Budget committee, enjoy the reading.
Now donation.
Phew, I'm done.
Donation.
I will make a motion to accept the $192 as a donation towards the girls' softball field
Work.
scoreboard. Yeah.
Second.
Okay, question.
I do have a
explain what this
question.
is?
Is this the t-shirts, the sweatshirts?
Sweatshirts. This
Yes.
is sweatshirts. Saul Davidson had contacted us, and he had made sweatshirts that you could order right through him, and some of them were sold through the school, and this was the profit. He donated all the profits for us. So I want to say thank you to him for
Yes,
taking that time.
absolutely.
So,
Thank you for getting it started.
Yep.
can we send him well, Thank you.
I'd like to think we should.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Well, so we're gonna hang on to this money and spend it on the scoreboard.
Yes.
We in agreement on that?
That's what it's for.
We're not going to Olive Garden or anything like that?
No, no
What?
Olive Garden.
All of us?
We're not gonna what? Go to Bermuda or what?
Olive Garden.
Olive
Secretary and, what's that?
Yeah.
I did hear. So that's what it'll be for. Okay. Now I'm on page 50.
Well, how about we vote?
Aye.
Vote.
Aye.
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 Okay, I see.
Let me put it down, I didn't write it down, sorry. Somebody-
Okay, then.
We're getting through here.
That's crazy.
All right, okay, page 58.
Stratford Learning Center.
I think this is Nate.
That's the one we.
That was testing that was done on students, and Nate had worked it out with Melissa Jean to look at putting it in the IDA grant. Am I correct?
Yeah, this is an example of us not always knowing what's coming at the end of the year. I had spoken to their accounts payable clerk, and she didn't even know it was coming. And then 2 days later, we got it. So we did have the heads up, but it just goes to show that even they aren't aware of it happening until it happens. But like Earl said, we are looking into taking it out of one of the grants, so it won't hurt our bottom line. The operating.
For this, last year.
For last year. Yeah.
So what happened is I went to see them. I knew we had some outstanding things. We had transition between Melissa, Jean, and Rob, and I spoke to the head of it, and then Karen, the bookkeeper, talked with Nate, and I said, we really need to settle up on some of these outstanding things, whether that we're involved with UN. So subsequently, he did a very thorough job, and as did Melissa and Rob Kwan, all this, and therefore that is what occurred. So that's why some questions were asked on what was encumbered, but then they sat and they tried to embed this in the IDA grant, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So just FYI then, we should be okay with it. IDA grant.
We did all the other stuff.
Yes.
We're down to public comments.
No. No. I got a question.
Sugar.
What happened now? Sugar?
I was just saying sugar because you had something else.
Oh, no. Is this going in non-public, this request from Rollinsford?
Yes.
Yeah.
Non-public, okay. All right, I guess not sugar. I got a, did you have, go ahead.
I just had two
Can it be public?
small, good pieces of good news.
What's that?
Our workers' comp bill and our property and liability bill were subject to premium holiday. So the workers' comp bill is going to be about $3,500 less than we budgeted, and the property and liability is going to be about $1,300 less than we budgeted. So that's good.
That's very good.
It helps.
For this year or for next year?
For this current year. That
Like
right now.
219 to 220?
Correct.
Thank you.
Say it again.
What was it, the property?
Property and liability
Property and
was about $1,300, and then workers' comp was just over $35.
Thank you.
All right. No, Earl, did Kathy give you some more hires? 6, okay. We got quite a few to go through, everybody. So, I need a motion to 7.
About public comment.
Public
Does
comments.
that public have any comments?
I missed the traffic discussion. I don't know, is it possible to have that summarized right at the beginning of the?
Yep, so basically what's gonna happen is they're gonna be relining the elementary school parking lot.
Relining.
Yeah, all restriping. So the visitor parking now is like front end.
Yep.
They're gonna kinda angle it, so you have to back out one way and drive through, and you have to take the one-way road as opposed to coming out whichever way you wanna go. It's gonna be for buses only, certain hours. There's actually gonna be signs at the coming down the hill. when you turn into the school, take a right, there's gonna be signs there saying buses only at these hours and do not enter from the other way, so cars cannot come that way anymore. They're gonna be adding additional parking spots on School Street, down below, like where there's that little sidewalk towards the church. There's gonna be 4 to 5 parking spots there as well for drop off and pick up, and they're gonna try to make it so 4th and 5th grade drops off and picks up down there and just walks in, so there's not so many cars trying to come in through the kindergarten way. So that was the major highlights of the whole thing.
And so then I have a question about, was there any discussion, I know during the year, at the kindergarten entrance for drop-off, lots of people, myself included, park like on the street there, and that was an issue for a while, like with the police not wanting people parked there, but then the school doesn't want people to pull in if they're gonna stop and like help their kid get out of the car at all. So was
Well,
there
the
any
biggest-
discussion of whether people are allowed to park?
The biggest part of it is there was a lot of parents that were dropping off, what is it, the little, whatever they are, the ones that come in earlier.
Little rooms.
And then they have to, I guess, that if they have an older child that goes in to the next, that they drop off right after that, they'll sit there and they'll wait for the time so they can drop off the second child, and that's what's causing the biggest headache. So they're trying to move those along and trying to get that going as well. So as far as staging up before the school, I think that the chief said that there's not going to be an issue with that. Hopefully it's going to be less if 4th and 5th drops off around the corner. So try to smooth that out a little bit. There's going to be a lot of re-signing and restriping and things like that you'll see over the summer, I hope so.
Now, you know where the metal fence is? That culvert that runs from the driveway in, you're not gonna be able to park there anymore.
Right.
Because cars have been left there unoccupied. Now, the other thing is, that was brought up to do the holes in there. We can't do any tarring until we put that culvert in, because that culvert is no good. There's a culvert right there. When you pull in, bring your kids to the circle.
It's literally, it's supposed to be a round pipe. It's literally like a half, and the whole bottom's rusted out. So we have to dig up the whole
So I
parking
kinda
lot
wonder
and
if
put a
that's-
culvert in first, and then they can kind of talk about the paving portion.
Yeah, because we agreed that we need to be paved. No sense paving until that culvert's done. And I don't know where we're in I hate to say it, we're in a default budget.
So so back to the parking by the
Parking.
fence, but
I knew you were gonna
'cause
go
that's
back
where I park. Like, the school sends out notices that say, you can't pull through if you're getting out of the car. And then the town says, but you can't park here. So what do those parents do of like a kindergartner who's all buckled in and like, you have to get out and help your kindergartner out of the car? Like,
You're gonna
if
still
you're
be able
not
to do
supposed
that
pull through,
at the door.
You just
No,
can't
they're
park
not-
on
you're
that
not allowed
opposite
to.
side of the gate. You can't, on the side of the street. Correct?
You're not allowed to take, you're not allowed to
You're
get
not
out.
allowed to get out of the car in the
You're not
drop off and
supposed to,
pick up
like,
line.
Get out of the car. Your kid's supposed to just like,
Get out.
which is like, yeah,
Tuck and
well,
roll.
which is fine. But like, for some of the younger kids, that is, or if your kid has something they're taking to school and you need to help, whatever.
But
I
anyhow,
don't
I
know what.
interpreted it.
I know
think
that there's
you're
probably
gonna
people that
send out
that are out
something,
there
aren't
are probably one-on-ones or waiting. But I know at a former school that I worked at, we had that same rule: don't get out because it just takes so long. But we had our school in particular had volunteers from the junior high and high school that would help kids get out of their cars. But maybe the adults that are already out there could just help. I mean, it's really just unbuckling. Couldn't they? I mean,
well,
Another thing
It'll
about that
probably go
too
a
is
lot
they're going
faster.
to update it on the parent handbooks. By next
They're
year,
gonna
they're going to
update
update all that stuff. Mrs. Safina said they're going to update where you can and where you can't park, how the traffic flow goes, all that stuff's going to work. So once it all gets incorporated, then they're going to update the handbook.
I'm sure it'll be smooth.
Probably.
Thanks.
For the new car seats that you guys are gonna need, eject.
Through the roof.
If you're being too loud, you just.
Yeah, there you go. You can use them anywhere you want. Roll down the window, open the sky roof.
I have one comment.
Go ahead.
I know I got a little heated earlier about the softball. I appreciate the work that Carter did.
Yes,
Don't get me
I
wrong.
do too.
Frustration is running amok. We just want to get this thing done, and we just, anything to try to move it forward. So we do appreciate what he did, especially, myself
frustration,
included.
yeah.
I don't want to sound like I was like, rah, but, it's
want to make sure and put that
I
out.
think get that, engineers get that a lot. Why does it have to be this way? Why can't it be some other way?
Okay.
Please let him know that he will be receiving an email from me.
He's not off the hook.
We need his input.
Just don't answer the phone. Okay, all right.
Make a motion to go non-public.
Yeah, I need a motion into non-public at 7:42
7:42.
p.m.
I'll make a
Oh.
motion to go into non-public.
I did.
You already
Oh, you did? I'm
you
sorry.
can second.
Why don't you second it?
Okay, I'll
did.
second that then.
Hey,
Thank you.
That's going to
Thank you.
be under RSA 91A.
742
2, A, B, C,
and oh, I
I,
got 'em
J,
all down there. I
and
know
K,
what they are.
and the whole alphabet.
A through Z. Yeah.
Aye.
Because
Aye.
what-
Aye.
Aye.
Where are you